Hey everyone, it's Trader Rob. Today is Friday, June 12th. Hopefully a day that I can forget about, hopefully soon. The horrible part of what happened to me after stream with my Signal members was that now I've got the whole entire weekend to kind of stew over it. And, well, let's just get into it. The title's right. I have been trading, honestly, what I consider to be lights out this month. It was, even though the market conditions have been extremely tough, been growing all of my funded accounts really well, increased position size, increased position size still in the micros, but, just gradually increasing my position size. And to be honest with you, risk to reward numbers have been looking fantastic, almost averaging a 1 to 2.5 risk to reward. Majority of all my trades have been between an 8 and 10 point stop loss. And in this type of market volatility, I think is something to be said. And the P&L was looking extremely nice. Finished off the stream. I think I was resting at around $9,600 for the month, which is, again, great. I got a goal of 20 grand for the entire month, and in 2 weeks of trading, almost hit 10 grand. Again, with this type of volatility, I thought I was doing fantastic. Didn't take a trade. Cash Profit Friday. Pretty much, I tried taking a short this morning. The price action jumped my entry. Wasn't able to get in. Would have been a beautiful short. Probably wouldn't have gotten myself maybe into this mess. I don't necessarily know, but well, here, let me just kind of mark it out. First of all, this is the scene of the crime right here. Looks innocent enough. I hover over it. 10 point loss on a short. No big deal. Got off the stream. Like I said, didn't take a trade. Was with my Signal members. We finally got some price action to move into areas that what I consider to be unbalanced volume. Ended up taking a long right here. Lost that trade for 8 points. So I was down, I don't know, about $800 for the day. And again, just a little less than 1 hour. Was already up almost 10 hours just for the week. So I said, okay, I'm willing to put a bullet out there for this trade. Ended up taking a loss, no big deal. Started watching price action. We bounced off of the key levels that price has been pretty much using almost as an equilibrium for the trading day today. And then I spotted what I considered to be an area of unbalanced volume here from sellers, which is this kind of golden box that I put out. You guys have seen these on my streams every day. It's either gold or purple. And ended up getting price action to move its way up. I also had a key level here at the 29,544. So I said, okay, if we can sweep this key level, dip into this seller's unbalanced volume area, sitting right here, I'm willing to take a short. And if you guys have been watching my channel, I have an entry confirmation that I use on the footprint chart to get me into these low risk, high reward type of trades, and ended up taking a short right here. Okay. Now you can see the next candle is a 130 point candle. So that can kind of explain to you what had happened. And literally the second that I go to hit the sell button, maybe within a millisecond of that, obviously there was some news that had come out. I think it was the prime minister from Pakistan that had come out with some type of headline saying that a lot of there was a lot of misinformation in regards to the treaty talks, or the talks with Iran's peace deal. Well, obviously the market decided that was super positive news, and literally it was a millisecond after I had hit the bid button that this jump just absolutely ripped. Now, I trade my leader account on the E-mini. All of my follower accounts, which are all of my funded accounts, they're all my PAs, my Tradeify, my Lucid, all my funded accounts are trading on micros. They average between 4 and 5 micros on each one. And I actually didn't even see the order. I wish I had the replay of it. I think I do still have it saved somewhere. But I honestly, I put the order in, didn't see the order even enter. And then all of a sudden, I look at my P&L that you see on the screen on the left-hand side, which I show my P&L on the particular trade and then the session where I'm currently at between all my fundeds. And I see the P&L is like negative like 4,000, which I already know is something is way off because my trade, I have a stop loss already built into my ATM at 10 points. And I typically adjust that to about 8 points or however it fits in the footprint candle that I'm trying to trade. So like I said, I average between 8 and 10 points to stop. And my typical target right now with ATR is about 40 points. So again, my risk to reward has been fantastic. Even in this high volatility, I take a loss. I could take 2 losses. I take 1 win. I'm still green for the day, up $2,000, which is fantastic. But in this particular scenario, the E-mini, and in fact, a few of my accounts that were trading, a few accounts that I were trading on the E-mini that had a really nice buffer on them, they all got knocked out for like, I think it was like $300 or $310. So a little bit of slippage, but nothing. The E-minis, or I'm sorry, the micros, none of them closed out. And they ended up closing out at about, I think it was, we kind of calculated it afterwards at about like 70 points of loss. And all said and done, when everything was closed out, my accounts were all negative. I think in total they were negative like $9,000. So it was brutal because, you know, and this is the only reason why I'm doing this video. The only reason why I'm doing this video is because I know that there's traders out there that can relate, where you feel like you're doing everything right and you've been doing really good trading. Your disciplines have been really good. You're invalidating setups that should be invalidated. You're putting risk on when you really feel like you should be putting risk on. And even as good as you think that you are, there's nothing that's going to prepare you for a headline that comes out the second that you take a short, and of course it's a headline that rips to the upside. So, you know, if this is obviously relating to you, throw a comment in there. Like I said, I got to stew over this over the entire weekend, which is the part that I hate about this the most. Is that I don't like that feeling heading into the weekend, especially when I was heading into the weekend on an extremely positive note. Even if I would have just taken that loss, even if I would have taken this loss, to be honest with you, 8 points and 10 points of loss, 18 points, that's nothing in comparison to the 30 to 40 point trades that I've been taking for winners. They don't bother me anymore. This obviously bothers me. This bothered me tremendously because, you know, this was kind of out of my control. You know, you could say, Rob, well, you shouldn't be trading in that type of environment. Well, this is the environment that we have. This is our new norm. And this is something that you almost kind of have to factor in, that there's always that possibility. I mean, we always see spikes and we're always like, oh man, thank God we're not in that trade. Or thank God that we weren't taking a short in that scenario when we saw that. Or thank God we weren't in a long when the market just ripped 300 points to the downside in a minute and a half. So we all see it and we all feel like, oh, wow, we kind of, you know, thank God we weren't in that. We were too smart to not be in that trade. No, that's not how a trader can think. But these things will come up in your journey, and they are a huge roadblock. And I'll tell you one thing, the first thing that's going to creep in your mind, how do I get it back? How can I get this money back? In fact, it came into my mind, and you start to get that FOMO, the revenge, and trust me, it's nothing good will come out of that. Nothing generally good. And if something good does come out of it, it's still negative, because then it happens to you again, and you think you can get yourself out of that once again. So I just got to take the licks that I got hit today with, and you know, kind of start back up on Monday. And I already know that 2-3 good trades, I would say 2 or 3 good trades that I take, I'm right back to where I was at when this disaster kind of happened. So that's the way I got to look at it. And you know what? If it takes me 3 or 4 bad trades, or not bad trades, because that's the way I kind of judge myself lately. If you guys have been watching the stream, I've been super positive even about my losses, because I'm like, you know what? That was a perfect entry. It's exactly where I wanted to take a short from. It's exactly where I wanted to take a long from. I got my order entry confirmation. Trade didn't work out. I understand that there's increased volatility. You might get a really quick wick back into the opposite direction. You're out of the trade just to see it go. It's happened to me many times. I don't care. I honestly just, those have been flying over my head where before they would really, really bother me. This bothered me, obviously, because again, super out of my control and just super, super bad timing. But with that said, hopefully it doesn't relate with you guys because you guys haven't experienced it, but it will come up in your journey. And like I've said many times, I think the markets have a way of balancing themselves out. I love using that word balance, unbalanced, but I truly do believe that that in the world things get you typically balanced out. So for every shitty thing that happens to you, maybe the market gives it back to you in one other, you might not even think it at the time, but you could maybe later on say, oh yeah, well, you know, I shouldn't have been in that trade and I made money, or I got in at I had a bigger position size that, you know, than what I wanted to take on that trade. Good. I didn't get filled on that loser. Okay, good. So the market has a funny way of kind of balancing itself out for you. Might not feel it like it, just like how I feel right now, but we'll come back stronger and we'll start back up next week. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream, and I'll see you guys next week. Take care, guys.